Hell yeah, my friend, it's such an honor. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Huge fans, huge Pulley fans, huge 10 football fans, huge fans of baseball. And it's great to have you on our radio show. But for people that don't recognize your car, inside of your car, or your beautiful hair, who the fuck are you?
Well, I am Scott with Pulley, and sometimes I don't know who the fuck I am. But right now, that's who I am.
Scott, welcome to Prescription Punk Rock. I mean it, you just released a split with Fire Sale, which is amazing. It's a great collaboration. It's so cool to see both bands working together. And but before talking about the split and even Pule, I'm curious. Let's get back to when you were a kid. How did you start listening and discovering music? And were you from a family of musicians?
Well, no one in my family really was a musician, but we grew up in a house where there was music, always being played. And I think when I discovered the radio station as a little kid, started listening, and then we had a kid across the street from us. He was older than me and my brother, and he turned us on to a lot of like early rock way back when I was little, and introduced me to music, and that's kind of where it started.
And like how did you remember the first time you thought, I should try singing, or was it something that happened as an accident?
Yeah, it actually happened as an accident. I played drums, and my very first band I was in, it was called Scared Straight, and I was a drummer. And we recorded some songs for a compilation called Nardcore. And I recorded the music, I did the drums, and we were little. I think we were 15 and 16 years old. So our singer, his family went on vacation. And when the record company called and said, "Hey, we need someone to come down here and sing these songs and do the vocals, we're ready for you," he wasn't going to be home for like a month. And they told us, they said, "Well, if somebody doesn't come down and sing the songs, you guys won't be on the compilation." So somehow I got volunteered to be the guy to go sing. And that's kind of the way it happened. And from that point on, I just kept singing and stopped playing drums.
It's funny
So that
how
was it.
destiny can hit you. Like you said, it was an accident, and I'm sure you never thought, I'm able to sing or whatever, but you push yourself into it. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. We just needed someone to scream, and I volunteered. So, and then I was dumb enough to keep that for the next 40 years. So,
And and how did you guys met when you started up Scare Straight? Were high school buddies or people that you know around?
yeah, it goes before high school. It was actually middle school for us. Um, we all were just learning how to play instruments, and when you play by yourself, it's fun, but when you play with other people, it's great. So, we were learning together. One guy had a guitar. Hey, let's find someone who plays bass. And at that age, everybody's experimenting, and so that's how it came together. And yeah, school.
And mid school, did you start playing baseball at that time? When baseball hit your life?
Yeah, baseball was, when I was a little kid, I was playing, sports as a little kid, and I just kept playing. And I stopped playing, other sports, basketball and football, and pretty much just kept playing baseball. And it wasn't really serious until I got into high school, where baseball really became, wow, this maybe could be a job. So for me, it was just kind of something to do up to that point.
And that's funny because most kid at that time would go, I will drop out high school and let's try my band and conquer the world. But in your case, it was okay, I've got the band, but I want to focus on baseball and try to do a career, which is hard to achieve. I mean, I played baseball when I was young, and a few people I know still doing it. And in Quebec, it's more harder than in the US. But still, you can have a professional career.
Yeah, I think the other guys in the band were, the guitar player in Scared Straight was really smart, and he was planning on going to college. One of the other guitar players had a business. So I don't think conquering the world was even a thought back then. It's a little easier to do now. A band coming up, I think the accessibility to doing things, but But for us back then, being in a band was just, it was different. It was different than today.
And I'm sure it's kind of surreal because you talk about the Nard scene. That was a thing, and it still happened. But back in the days, there was a community of local band getting together and create something. And the Nard scene is a good example. And it creates such band that are still, important to the history of punk. Is it surreal to think about that time when you were so young and you didn't, like you said, have any intention of conquer anything? It's just playing and have fun.
Well, that was the most exciting part about that music scene back then. It was not commercial. It was very small, rented halls, parties, but it was like your local scene. And to go out of your own community was like going to another state. And when we would go to shows in LA, that's how we would meet other people like us. Oh, you're in a band and you live where? And we started making these connections. And that's how that music scene developed. I mean, even touring nationally, bands like Black Flag and DOA and the Dead Kennedys, they were going out doing all this work, getting phone numbers and everything so that the next group could have a possibility to do the same thing. And that's kind of how it grew. And we would write letters, and it was just different. Now, like I say, it's just a lot easier, and you can communicate with somebody somebody in Europe, and it's very easy because it's accessible. So it was very exciting back then to be part of something that was growing, and I'll never forget that part of my life.
Yeah, and grow up seeing those bands. I mean, you mentioned DOA and Black Flag. A lot of people give them, the reward of creating those two roads in Canada, Seattle, and even Seattle makes Seattle a step for a lot of band because nobody went to Seattle back in the days, and I think that's why the punk scene is such interesting there and was so different. But DOA had played such a huge part of creating those Nirvanas on Garden and everybody. I saw flyers on Garden opening for No Means No and DOA, and they really inject something. And I think it's something that people have forgot when punk explodes and there was money and label. But the importance when you create music and you do something, it's the inspiration you throw to people. And they inspired so many bands. It's crazy. And you did, like I'm sure with 10 Foot Paul and Pulley and Scare Straight, there's a lot of people seeing you and said, I want to do like Scott, fuck it. I want to, I want to play. So it's beautiful to see that this community has survived and still have, it's still back to that now.
Yeah, it's great, and that's what I think will forever be. Uh, what punk rock is defined for is is that it is, although it is becoming a little more commercial, it is an underground scene, and it was developed by us, and and I really hope that the people that get involved into it in the future and going forward don't forget those bands that paved the way, and they don't forget those bands that helped create what we have and the ability to do what we do. And I'll never forget those bands for making it possible for me and giving me something to look up to. And it's and it's extremely humbling when a younger kid will say, "Oh, your band meant so much to me, and you guys inspired me to do this and that." It's special, and I don't know if a huge rock band gets to have that interaction with their audience and hear those type of comments. So it's very gratifying and humbling.
Yeah, and you're right. I think that when the ego step between creation and playing is it's where you lost touch with that thing. I spoke with that with Chris from Fire Sale. Like I think we're servant of music. It's something inside you that you throw to the world, but it's not for you to see yourself as a better thing than others. It's more to connect with people and I think through that connection that's I think the kind of meaning of life where everything happened because music is one of the few places where everybody don't care about anything when a band play. It's just about the music and the vibration.
when 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 you're at a great show and a great concert, and that sort of vibe is in the air, there's nothing better, is there? I mean, the person you hate standing next to you, those things go away for that 1 hour of music or whatever it is, when you're enjoying something, and what music can do to people and what it brings out to the inside. And it's special. It's a special connection. And I think that our particular music scene is more special than any other scene, and it brings that connection together more than any other music. And that's why I'll be a part of it until the day I die.
Is it more easy with time to create new songs and write? And how's the discipline when it comes to writing?
It's never easy writing songs. Well, sometimes it's easy, but not always. um, but it's just a challenge, and when you grow as a musician and you grow as a songwriter and you mature as a person, as an adult, and you have different views of the world. I mean, if you look at lyrics now compared to lyrics, back in 1983, at least from us, they're a lot more meaningful. They're more thought out. Um, so an understanding of how to write a song, and so much, we've had so many musical things that we've rejected amongst ourselves because, no, that doesn't sound good. And I think we know now what works for us, so we try to stick to that formula. And as far as the time, if it's what you do, if it's something you enjoy, you'll always find time to do what you want to do. And everybody has hobbies, and everybody has things they enjoy, and for us, music's one of those outlets.
Some is throwing a ball.
Yeah, same thing, same
But
commitment.
I mean, the evolution of Pulley is really interesting. There was a lot of people involved, and every musician has inject something, their unique personality, unique person that they are. But I never will refer as prog punk, but you never stop yourself of trying thing, which I think make Pulley interesting and different of the box. And when I see you live, I was there in Trois-Rivières. It's so cool to see, when you go through time and play with song and the set list and see how, the band structure itself to be something that maybe people refer as mature, but I don't think you were ever like that immature in a way. It was always kind of serious writing, but you always had fun. But the balance is so interesting. Was it something that came naturally when you were pushing yourself to define a line, but not define a typical songs that you find in every song release, like for Motorhead example?
Yeah, I mean, as a band, we never really wanted to stand on any kind of certain platform, whether it be political or whatever. We write about what's going on in the world, and we write from our perspective. We take things serious, but not like an anti-flag type serious. You know what I mean? Um, I, I think if you can leave something a little vague to the listener, they can interpret it how they want, and take a lyric in their own direction, even if it's not what I was thinking when it was being created. If it means something to you, then that's what we're trying to accomplish, is to not have a certain definition for anything. And as far as being serious, I mean, if you're not having fun at what you do, if you can't enjoy what you're doing and put a smile on your face, if it's that serious, you should probably look at a different job, because I think, you know, in music, you're an entertainer, and entertaining means to make people smile and be happy. And the only way to do that is if they see you doing it yourself. So I think that's kind of where we're at. We actually enjoy each other. We're the band that hangs out backstage and actually gets along and talks to each other. That's rare a lot of times, for all five members to feel that way, but um, we're close, and I think we can, say anything to anybody, no matter who comes in. If we have a fill-in drummer or a fill-in bass player or guitar player for one show, it's just natural. It's somebody we know, somebody we have a relationship with, somebody we can be on stage with, be ourselves, interact. When we make eye contact, we know what each other's thinking, and that just comes with experience and time. And I can't even imagine how great it would be if we played every day on a regular basis, and did real proper tours. But we're grateful for what we get to do and the opportunity we do get to have, and we're fortunate and we're thankful for that. So that might not have answered your question, but
Was there a question? That's the real question. But
yeah,
yeah, and I met you and met you guys. I'm great friend with Tyler also, and it was like that, like you mentioned. It's a huge family thing, and I felt part of that, part of Pulley. And you always been great with the fans, and I think that's another thing. There's a lot of band that restrain themselves of meeting the fans, and then you don't see them that often. And I respect that. We live good and bad time, and when it's time to do the show, you're still there, and you don't know what's happening in your life. So, but I mean, it's cool to see that band front that, and for fans, just a photo and 5 minutes change your life. How many people you met, and always, referring, oh, we met in 2010, and they tell to everybody because it's meaningful, and to refer what I was saying, it's the connection, and I think
yeah,
that's why we feel that we live.
yeah. I agree. You know, it's hard sometimes when you're in a band or I'll use baseball for an example. Everybody wants an autograph. So maybe one day you sign 50 autographs. Well, maybe tomorrow I don't want to, but I'm in a different city. So it, it, those fans deserve this. It's hard to be consistent with that. And, you know, I do understand the bands that are on the road, maybe play 30 days. And, after the first week, you're tired, you're worn out, and you have the opportunity to be backstage and you just want to rest before you have to play, and you don't go interact. And it's nothing personal. It's just, it becomes part of the lifestyle after a while. And it's hard to always be able to go out and intermingle and mix with people. I love going to the merch booth because I feel like when you're at the merchandise area, that's where everybody's coming. And when they see you there, their eyes get really big. It's like, whoa, what are you doing here? What do you mean we're playing? Yeah, but why are you at the t-shirts? Why not? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just, but I do understand where it gets difficult sometimes to keep that personal connection with fans. It's hard, especially when the venues become bigger, and it's just not as easy. A small club, it's easy. It's easy to talk to somebody. In a big venue with 10,000 people, it becomes difficult. So I understand both sides of it.
Yeah, yeah, and you're right. When you play every fucking day, it get on your nerves and everything. Yeah, but I think it's always about the respect as fans and people. I saw many fans drunk as fuck and saying shit to Ben or whatever, which is you don't understand a thing. But there's some that are just respectful. I always refer. One time I met Keith from the Circle Jerks and Black Flag, and Keith Morris was just about go on stage. He had 15, 20 minutes. And I went to him and I said, hey, Keith, and do you want to do an interview? And I saw he's looking, and I said, I'm so sorry. I just broke your bubble, and leave. And he came and he hugged me, and that's it. And that was respectful. So I think it's that balance, because when you see the guy angry, it's not the time. There's always a timing.
Right, right. Well, I definitely think, being in a band, the one thing you want is you don't want someone to be intimidated. You want them to feel comfortable and be able to come to you and not like, should I say something? Should I not? Just treat them normal until they don't treat you with respect. And then when they don't treat you with respect, it's going to make you feel different about that band anyway. So for someone like Keith Morris to give you a hug, it will make you think differently about Keith Morris, you know? So just try to be normal. Try to be normal when people see a person in a band. Don't be intimidated. Go up and say hello, and they should say hello back. And that's the way it should be.
I never do the signing, but at the Red Bridge, one of my friend, he really nails me because he wanted his Pulley deck to be signed, and I was like, oh no, I don't do that. He gave it to my girlfriend that bought it to me, and I was like, oh damn it. And you did. I'll people sign it, and that skateboard I have to keep it in my backpack. So I find a way. So I knock everybody heads. Mark from Guttermouth, everybody got a fucking hit from that skate that I forget was there. He still have it, and he say thank you.
Oh, it's awesome. Good.
But that's the magic of punk rock, creating those moments. And I always said
Yes.
the music is a huge part, but after that, it's like you said, those magic moment happening and people getting married after a Pulley show, people meeting and getting coupled in a Pulley show. That's something that we have in the punk scene that is fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. And the cool thing is it goes on all over the world, and that's what's awesome about it is that same community family feeling can be the same thing in Berlin or Cologne, Germany, or the Netherlands or Italy. It That special connection is with everybody involved in this music scene.
And how crazy was it when you hit her up the first time and you realized that people knew the band?
It's amazing. I mean, it was
There was no internet.
no. That's when you know that you're part of something special, and you know exactly I belong here. This is where I want to be, and yeah, it's awesome. It was awesome.
That's crazy. You just released the split with Fire Sale. When was the last time you heard from Fire Sale? I know you're good friend with Matt Riddle, but how Chris reached you out and how that crazy ID merged?
Well, Chris has a podcast that one time on tour, and I've done a couple of interviews with him, so we kind of had a connection. Their band is very similar to ours, kind of doing it for the music. I don't think they're worried about or trying to be, the next big thing. I think they're writing music for the right reasons. They're not a big time touring band, and they're doing it to have fun. And so when Chris reached out and asked if we had any interest, it was a no brainer for us. Well, of course, we said yes right away. And then I told the guys in the band, hey, we got to start working on some of those ideas and make a couple songs for this split EP. And everybody was excited, and it was just natural. So yeah, it was easy for us to say yes when they asked.
And it's cool that you reunite with Matt in a way.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, we're going to be on the same record again. It's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
That
yeah,
circle of life.
yeah. It's
And
awesome.
and I'm sure you see me coming. Is there any chance that you both tour in Quebec and Canada or for a festival run, for example, into 2026? Throw that ID.
I sure hope so, man. I would love to get back to Red Bridge. There's some great festivals up there. Red Bridge, Music for Cancer. Some of the other ones that all around June, September. That we've done in the past. Uh, yeah, so we'll see. I keep my fingers crossed. We that's that's a very special area in the world to go play punk rock music. So to be able to have the opportunity to go up there and play in front of those people, it's always special. And
Yeah,
I don't just say that because I think if you ask anybody in any band, they're going to tell you that that area up there in Eastern Canada is the best.
yeah. I think that when you first wave hit in the '90s, people were like, "Yeah, they say that to everybody." But we came to realize that yeah, punk rock is really strong, and there's a lot of people working to make it possible. With podcasts, with the bookers, and everybody's working together in a way. It's a small community, and
Yeah,
Montreal is a big city, so it really helps. So it's really cool that us francophone are now known in the world because we're music fans. Because a lot of people know Quebec about, oh, you guys are crazy, you fucking love metal and punk. But it's because of you guys, because you talk about it. Because normally people would never knew what Quebec is, Canada, but Quebec.
yeah. No, it's true, man. It's a like I said, it's a special place, and you guys are lucky to have it, and
uh,
we're lucky to be able to go there. So
do you still work as a assistant coach?
no, I don't work. I help out some local high school and college teams, but I don't have any sort of responsibility.
Do you miss that? Because it's a lot of stress. After all, when you look at it as having a professional career like that, it's a lot of stress for you, and I'm sure for the family also because it involves a lot.
Yeah, I don't miss the grind of being gone for 8 months and making those sacrifices anymore. I did it for over 37 years, um, and I enjoy what I'm doing now. I stay involved, so I don't really have time to miss it.
Do you still watch a lot of baseball?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I keep my eyes on what's going on, and I pay attention and I follow. There's certain teams or players that I follow. So yeah, I still watch it.
For us in Quebec, it's hard. We in Quebec City we lost our hockey team, the Nordics, but we also lost our Montreal baseball team, the Expos, which is a fucking hit because that was my favorite thing to do. Go to the Warp Tour on Friday and then on Saturday go watch baseball. That was the thing for like 10 years.
Yeah. Well, hopefully something comes back to Montreal. I mean, I know they talk about it and expand and see. We'll
We hope
see.
so. Do you
Yeah.
remember do you remember a thing about the Expo? Was it the team that you follow or
Well, I didn't follow them being from California, but I enjoyed going there as a player. I mean, I liked it, even though people complained about the stadium. I thought it was great. You know,
it was falling apart and it still is.
yeah, maybe they should build a new one.
The crazy thing, NoFX play at the bottom of it when they did their last two show in Montreal, and it was really beautiful with the pictures because it's a beautiful stadium. It's just that
Yeah,
it was not very well built, and we got screwed in a lot of things. So
yeah. That's what happens when the cities build stadiums like that with taxpayers' money.
yeah, Montreal, you got that. Scott, you always been generous with me, and I appreciate it. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, Pulley have such a special place, and I repeat myself in people in Quebec art. 10 football also, I must admit it. Swill and Rev has passed through the test of time. Still, people love the records, and I'm sure it's surreal when you think about it. You were young and throw that in the air, and then next thing but yeah, it still resonates with people here.
Yeah, it's really cool. I know, like I say, those were special times, and you know what? We were learning how to write music, and I'm proud of what we did at that point. We had been a band for 10 years before Rev came out, and we put a lot of work into to writing and learning how to play, and times where it was just the right time. It was the right time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were Thai. You were ready as a motherfucker.
ready, man. We were ready.
Of course, we're going to wait for you in Quebec. And again, congratulations. Trois-Rivières was amazing. It was a rainy show. It was a lot of rain.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of rain, but rain doesn't stop anything.
Did you enjoy? Because there was like I told you about the Agora and the lake, but it was crazy with the Fleuve Saint Laurent just behind you.
No, it was awesome. That was a great location, a great venue. I can't even imagine if it was sunny out, how much we would enjoy, the river and everything. But beautiful. It's beautiful. It was a beautiful village. It was great. It was a good time.
Scott, we're gonna wait. People, of course, grab the new split. There's still Pulley merch available. We're gonna make all the links below. If you don't have money, we get it. It's rough time. It's available on every fucking platform, so you don't have a reason to not listen to those two fucking amazing songs. And say hi to everybody in the band. And I'm gonna wait for you. And again, thank you for your generosity, Scott. I appreciate that. We're gonna have to do a part two.
All right, man. Anytime, you just let me know. And thanks for all the nice things you say. Thank you to all the people in your area for always being so supportive. And look forward to getting back there really soon.
Yeah, and enjoy the temperature. We're getting ready for the rain, and then winter is coming.
Well, I'm sure you guys will survive.
Yeah,
You're tough.
yeah.
You're tough up there. So,
Scott, thank you. See you around. Bye
all
bye.
right, man. Thank you. See you.
Cheers.
prescription is what you need. No more inhibition.